Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Global Times USA. Subscribe and like my videos. Today, we dive into one of the most shocking and intense events unfolding before our eyes: Moscow under attack, as 93 drones unleashed chaos over the skies of Russia's capital. This story is not only about the event itself, but about the larger picture of how warfare has changed, the technology driving it, the vulnerabilities it reveals, and the messages it sends to both allies and adversaries around the globe. The events that unfolded in Moscow are a reminder that modern conflict is not about tanks rolling across borders alone, but about precision, stealth, and relentless innovation in unmanned aerial systems that have redefined both offense and defense. When we first look at the exterior side of this event, we can imagine the visual of dozens upon dozens of drones flying together in the dark skies above one of the most heavily defended capitals in the world. Moscow has long been portrayed as a fortress protected by state-of-the-art air defenses, layers of radars, and rapid response missile systems. Yet, despite this high-tech shield, the sky was lit with streaks of fire, explosions in the distance, and drones weaving their way through defense lines. The exterior impression here is one of shock and awe. A city that should have felt untouchable suddenly became vulnerable, and its streets echoed with fear, uncertainty, and confusion as the defense systems scrambled to intercept wave after wave of incoming threats. The appearance of the city at night, filled with flashes of anti-air fire, searchlights scanning the skies, and smoke rising from intercepted drones, paints a dramatic picture of how modern warfare touches not only soldiers but civilians who live under the constant hum of drones overhead. Moving deeper into the interior perspective, we find an even more gripping story. Inside Moscow, ordinary citizens were awakened by the sounds of sirens, by the impact of explosions, and by the rattling of windows as defense systems fired interceptors. The interior is not just about buildings or vehicles, but about human emotions: fear, shock, and the realization that modern war is no longer distant, but at their doorstep. Families rushed into basements, mothers clutched their children, and many scrambled to understand what was happening through social media updates and state broadcasts. For those inside government buildings, the interior meant long hours of crisis meetings, maps spread out across tables, and hurried communication with military commanders trying to assess the scale of the assault. The drones themselves, when we speak of their interior design, are not complex like passenger planes, but compact and efficient, built with internal components that balance lightweight design with deadly efficiency. Each drone carried its guidance systems, small payloads, and an internal architecture optimized for cost-effectiveness and mass deployment. This is where the story shifts from chaos to strategy. The interior of these drones represents not just machines, but a new philosophy of war: cheap, numerous, and effective against even the most expensive defenses. The performance of the drones is one of the central highlights of this attack. 93 drones do not operate randomly. They are coordinated, released in waves, targeting defenses, probing for weak points, and overwhelming systems by sheer numbers. Their performance is not measured by how many hit targets alone, but by how much disruption they create. Even if many were shot down, the attack forced Moscow's air defense systems to expend resources, reveal locations, and stay on constant alert. In terms of speed, altitude, and maneuverability, these drones are not the fastest aircraft in the sky, but their performance is judged on persistence and unpredictability. Some fly low to avoid radar, others maintain altitude to confuse defenses, and many use basic GPS-guided navigation to strike predetermined points. Their real performance lies in asymmetry: millions of dollars worth of missiles fired to shoot down drones that cost only thousands to build. That imbalance is the new definition of power in 21st century conflict. When we turn towards safety features, the irony of drone warfare becomes clear. These drones are designed with just enough features to complete their mission: autopilot systems to maintain course, anti-jamming measures to resist electronic warfare, and fail safe programming to crash into targets if disabled. For the operators, safety features mean that no pilots risk their lives, no soldiers need to cross borders, and no direct confrontation occurs. For the defenders, safety features lie in their shelters, underground bunkers, and layered defenses that try to minimize civilian casualties. Yet no safety system is perfect. Even with air defenses working overtime, fragments of intercepted drones rained down over neighborhoods, endangering those below. The safety features highlight a dual truth. Drones protect those who launch them while simultaneously eroding the safety of those who live under their flight path. Unique selling points of this drone assault are striking in both military and symbolic terms. From a purely tactical perspective, the unique selling point is saturation, the idea of flooding defenses with such a volume of threats that even the best systems cannot block them all. From a strategic angle, the attack demonstrates reach. Drones launched from hundreds of kilometers away penetrated deep into the heart of Russia, showing the world that distance no longer guarantees security. On a symbolic level, the unique selling point is psychological warfare. 93 drones over Moscow is not only a military operation but a message. Your capital is not safe. It shakes the confidence of citizens, rattles the pride of the government, and forces decision makers to reconsider their positions. In the global defense market, these unique selling points also showcase the appeal of drones to militaries everywhere: cheap, effective, and adaptable weapons that can be mass-produced faster than traditional missiles or jets. If we think in terms of price, the contrast is staggering. A single high-end interceptor missile fired by Russia's defense system can cost hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, while a small attack drone can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 depending on its sophistication. Multiply that by 93, and we see that the attackers spent a fraction of what the defenders were forced to spend in response. This is why drones have become the centerpiece of modern asymmetric warfare. Price is not only about affordability, but about efficiency, return on investment, and the ability to drain an enemy's resources with limited expense. On the human cost side, the price is measured in fear, disrupted lives, and political consequences, which may outweigh even the financial figures. The price tag is not only in currency, but in credibility, as a heavily defended capital now bears the scars of an attack from machines cheaper than a modern car. In conclusion, the events in Moscow mark a turning point in understanding the nature of war today. It is not about who has the largest army or the most tanks, but about who can innovate, adapt, and leverage technology to exploit weaknesses. The drone attack with 93 machines is not only a chapter in the ongoing conflict, but a glimpse into the future where swarms of unmanned systems dominate the skies, testing defenses and reshaping strategy. For Moscow, it was a night of chaos and revelation. For the world, it was a reminder that no city is beyond reach, no defense is absolute, and no government can ignore the power of cheap, smart, and expendable machines. As this story continues to unfold, we will see more cities prepare, more militaries adapt, and more headlines reminding us that the battlefield has permanently shifted to the skies above us.